Well, good morning, sunshines. This is the Mystic Diva podcast. And how are you, Lou? And welcome.
Hello, and welcome to the Mystic Diva. The Mystic Diva is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional, business, legal, or medical advice. The following program contains subject matter and realistic language that some listeners may find objectionable. Listener discretion is advised.
Ooh. Oh, good morning. Good morning. And we are on a mission, y'all, to demystify mysticism and help others to get more in tune with their consciousness. My name is Yeye, the Mystic Diva, and I'm a psychic, medium, Ifa priestess, and coach of 30 years.
Good morning, y'all. My name's Lou. I am the madam of the medium, the wrangler of the psychic, and basically I'm Yeye's manager. So what's going on in your week?
Shoot, we are getting ready for New York City.
Woo!
Yes, and you and I will be in New York City. Anybody in the tri-state area or anywhere that would like to partake in an event with us, y'all just reach out, and Lou will give you the information for that.
So, tell us what you're looking to do in New York.
Well, we are going to have some events, parties, so media. We're available for media. So we are setting up a time to, one, have a reunion with each other. And two, since I used to live in New York City, we're going to revisit that. And I've got some clients that I'll be seeing. So we're opening bookings for events and such. And I am so looking forward to getting out of Savannah and seeing some New York weather, like potential fall weather.
I know. Yes, I love New York. It's one of my favorite places in the world. And tell us what a party with Yeye looks like.
Oh, wow. Buckle in. So I have been doing this 30 years, and it's always suggested to not overdrink while you're getting a reading at a party with me. Because what tends to happen is that, people are not able to receive the energy. So what's to be expected is a grand old entrance. And then I am a medium and a psychic, and do lots of different mediums. So I do tea leaves, crystal balls. The mediumship piece looks like me speaking to people, obviously, that have passed on, and giving messages to folks. I'm also an astrologer and a tarot reader of 30 years, along with mediumship. So I do a little trifecta. I have my little setup, my little schmokta, my little table, and everything that I do. I have my handy dandy mystical bell. And then that's before the reading to center and focus my body.
Okay.
And then, folks, I just sort of tap in, as you know, I call it. And then I'm able, the first portion of the reading generally, but you never know because I'm just the messenger, generally looks like me giving messages or allowing space so that the folks that it's kind of like this. My ancestors and spirit team are talking to people's ancestors and spirit team, and they're kind of having a little rendezvous, a little party.
Okay.
And then eventually a little bit of time passes. Usually it's pretty fast. I get messages, smells, see, touch, all blah, 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 the whole schmeckle. And then if folks are interested in the tarot reading, we do a little bit of tarot, ask about what's the comings and goings with them. What to look forward to in their future. It's a lot of fun. And then sometimes if I have time, like in my deeper sessions, 1-to-1 sessions where we're doing parties and such, I do a lot of astrology, or what's called astrological transits, where we can actually take the chart and it's like your little fingerprint, right? Lou's little fingerprint. And then there's this stuff, the planets go around you. It's not just your imprint or your intuitive natal chart, which you came in with. So we can see, for example, oh, Lou, this is a great time for Venus, love, and money. Shahuda.
Okay.
Right? So we can see the energies that are coming in that will affect you. So that's a great time to play the lottery. Just saying. No, but it really is. But we can, I don't do lottery numbers, obviously, but it's a good time to kind of plan your life accordingly, not obsessively, but accordingly. to some of the energy supporting you at that time. That's the astrology piece. The tarot piece is really about details, personalities. For example, love, right? Career and the energy around that. But it's like super detailed.
If somebody gets a feeling from you at the party that they want a little bit more information, they can reach out to you for a private session or even your coaching.
Yeah. That's another piece. Yeah. So right now I have a Psychic AF program that's happening. Because really, I think we're all intuitive, and this is a whole show, Lou. But I think everybody's intuitive, and so one of the things that is my pride and joy is taking folks and learning. Right? It's really like remembering their intuition. It's not really learning it. And I devise a program individually for each of my clients, and then maybe it's passion purpose. What I call business is passion purpose that they want to look at. Maybe it's their spiritual path, but it's allowing themselves to have the skills to use intuition and spirituality in their lives. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. It's like you're teaching them how to tap in also.
Yeah. And like I said, it's like a remembering. You have to learn all this stuff. Because it's been conditioned, our culture over here, we don't really support that lane, shall we say. And it's really, on a really personal note, it's really, I'm going to cry. It's really beautiful to see people connect with loved ones that they, that's a very personal thing. I don't take that light.
Absolutely.
And a responsibility, really, because you want to, that's sacred, very sacred.
Yeah. Like, I guess you do forecasts for like long term, short term?
Both. It depends on the messages, but it's usually right what the person needs to hear. For example, one time I had a client and I was like, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I see you living someplace and and then I named the time like a year or 2 years, I think it was. And all I keep seeing is this velvet curtain and you're looking at mountains, right? Like a year later, she had manifested that. And that's like, one of the things that she said is she was like, I don't know how you saw that, but, and it's not me really, but, that was one of the pieces that was really cool that she actually manifested that. And it's just interesting. It's always something new. I really love what I do because it's always something new.
Yeah.
But it's like, everybody sees the world through a different lens, which is what that astrology piece is about, and just everything. But it's like we all see and perceive things differently, and our woo-woo looks different, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's spiritual path is different. Even me, like I had to go through so much imposter syndrome to do what I do with my Ifa tradition. But everybody's practice and whatever their tradition or no tradition or atheist, there's always coincidence. There's always something that we have a common ground on. Y'all, just to kind of do a shout out, we are in Mercury Retrograde, little mini Astro weather. We're in Mercury Retrograde right now for a little snippet. And then Mercury actually goes into Virgo. So it's like a double lead, right? Because it's in Gemini and then it goes into Virgo. So it's like a double dip with the planet Mercury because Mercury rules both Leo and Gemini. And Lou's looking at me like, what are you talking about? What? So when the planet Mercury stations retrograde, right? We call it stationing retrograde. So when it stations, quote unquote, retrograde, right? It's some people say, oh, it's stopped or it's going backwards. Technically, it's just slows down to such an immense point that it feels like it's stopped, which can have, just like the ocean with the full moon rises 100 feet. There's something to it. Has an effect on us here if you're into astrology, right? So that's why people say that technology goes a little woosly, and our thinking is backwards, et cetera, and communication gets challenging because Mercury rules communication.
Okay. Okay.
Mercury also rules travel. So that's why you always want to practice defensive driving, Mercury retrograde.
Okay.
That's just people like might be, a lot of people get a little more foggy. Their thinking isn't as clear. Now, sometimes, and I'm going to go on one here, people with that were born, their natal astrology chart, their fingerprint, the time of their birth and their day of birth and their, et cetera, et cetera, your birth chart. People were born when the planet Mercury or other planets were retrograde, like myself. So oftentimes in a chart, we can see where somebody like myself may have pieces of neurodivergence, right? Or ADHD.
Okay.
We can see all these things in a chart. It's really interesting. Yeah, because it's such a spiritual piece. It's such a spiritual piece. I mean, it makes me a damn good reader, a really good reader for shows. I kind of navigate the world differently than people born with like Mercury direct or that have different placements.
Okay.
So a lot of us that were born Mercury retrograde have several things or other. I have a lot of stuff Mercury or retrograde in my chart, but it makes you more internal because it's like going within. So, y'all, on the tip of astrology, I also wanted to talk about Leo season, right? We're smack dab. Here we have Lionsgate, which I'll talk about, and we have Leo season. So, happy birthday tomorrow, right, to Lou. Love it.
Yes, my birthday is tomorrow.
Yay! Hold on.
Woo! It's the woo-woo.
The woo-woo. And you're Leo. And what's interesting to note is that probably our next couple shows, we will dive into your chart. Since I've never read your chart, we've known each other all this time. This is what I do. So there was, on the time that everybody's going to see this isn't happening, but we had a Venus-Uranus conjunction or right next to each other. So it's a really beautiful time, or was a very beautiful time, and you can still take advantage of that. This energy is 2 years. So it's really about fulfilling our heart's desire in love and money.
Love.
In a surprising way. So this might be a time, and reach out if you want a reading. We can look at, is it a good time to maybe do the lottery? Is it a good time to do contracts? Is it a good time? This is a really good time to kind of look at some of these pieces that that kind of help you plan your highest, truest, best life, really. So, Lou, it was a wonderful time having you here. This has been such a beautiful experience for me. It means a lot. Cheer. So, on that note, y'all, the Mystic Diva is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional, legal, medical, or business advice.
Thank y'all for listening. I hope everybody has a lovely week.
Have a good week, everybody.
Everybody should have a good week in celebration of Leos.
Peace out, y'all.